Hello ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to Geopolitical Simulator 4 Power and Revolution. For those of you joining me for the first time ever, my name is Sabouts, and if you're returning to my channel for another series, I'd like to welcome you back. This series is long awaited on the channel. And you guys actually voted for this. I held a poll after my Uganda playthrough on what you guys would like to see next. You asked to see Germany, so I'm gonna play Germany. The goal of this playthrough is going to be to take over. The goal of this playthrough is going to be to take over everybody that essentially wronged us after World War II. So we're pretty much going after the Allies. And this is going to be sort of like World War III, pretty much. It's kind of like the goal. Going to start World War III, probably going to leave the EU, probably going to go to war with everybody. I think it's going to be pretty great. So we'll just go ahead and play as this person here, the DRL. All of this, I'm actually going to keep the same. I'm perfectly fine with it. Originally, I had raised warmongering in my last playthrough. I'm just going to leave this all as is. And we'll jump straight into it. We'll start laying out our plans for what we need to do to actually be able to take on all of the allies. This is not going to be easy. This means we have to go after countries such as Great Britain, France, and the United States. Russia as well will have to pay. All powerhouses here in 2019 where the game does take place. In the meantime, we'll probably want to try and reunite the Axis, but I think it's going to be really difficult because I do not think that we are going to be able to convince countries like Italy and to join us. Japan we might. They're actually friends with us. Actually, Italy and Japan are friends with us. But once we start going to war with other people, it'll be whether or not they hang tight with us or if they decide to pull away. Now, France and Great Britain is our ally. Russia already hates us, so that should be easy enough. The United States is kind of, they're friends with us, but a little bit colder than everybody else. Russia might be our first main target. Oh crap, we'll have to take Poland too. Didn't even think about that. The EU is not going to like the things that I'm going to do. Alright, what's the state of the country? I would like to know. We have a budget. 1.6 billion. We actually have a budget excess, believe it or not, of 153 million. Not bad. So we start the game off with a little bit of spending money. And not in too bad of a position with debt. 2.5 billion in debt. That's a lot. But at least we have an excess, so we could start paying it off. I'll have to try to increase the excess as much as possible. A lot of the sectors are nationalized too. I'd be curious to know what we've nationalized in Germany. How does the debt look? It's 2.5 billion. Who do we owe it to? Oh no, I'm sorry, it's 2.5 trillion. Right? We owe it to significant number of people. We owe, I guess we owe ourselves 651 billion. 457, 361. And then a little bit to everybody else down here. Yeah, that could take some time to pay off. All right, how does wages look? Average monthly salaries. Okay, these are fair numbers. I'd be curious to know about inflation. We're starting off with 1.79% inflation. That's pretty good. I'd like to see that hover around Once I'm done making all my changes, I'd like to see that hover around maybe 8%. Alright, had to take a big swig of water there. Chances are we'll be around 8% or something after because at the rate I want to increase the budget excess and grow the economy. It's probably just going to be how it goes. Alright. Oh, energy. Where do we get most of our energy? Believe it or not, fossil electricity and then wind powered is a big part. Not very much nuclear. We should change that. Try to eliminate most of the fossil electricity. Replace it with nuclear. That'd just be better in general. Oh, did we have a surplus? National consumption and production cap. Oh. We're actually importing some electricity. We have a surplus of 46, but we could outpace that pretty quickly. So we're going to want to do something about that. How about the environment? Pretty maxed out. All right, before I go into industry, I just take a look at some of these numbers. So for the police, crime rate, pretty low. Drug addiction rate, violent deaths, yeah, it's not too bad. Security, head of state. Some of these numbers could be improved. Cybersecurity, internal affairs, vice squad, political, police. We'll want to eventually get in there. Secure our president. Because we are not a dictatorship, at least not yet. And the Secret Service. Ooh, needs a lot of work. Do we have terrorist organizations, actually? I'm sure we do. German fighters for integrity, the Italian mafia. Jihadist caliphate, the Russian mafia. Okay. We'll go ahead and start infiltrating these organizations right now. And placing people under surveillance if we can. Start trying to break down these organizations. They're never good when they're in your backyard. So if we could take those out, that'd be great. But to actually take them out, we'll have to increase budgets here. But I don't want to do that just yet. How's the military? Terrible. Terrible military. Only 478 commandos. This is terrible. Decent amount of tanks. Rank 3. A lot of rank 1 tanks. Terrible tanks to have for a country so developed, but at least they got a good amount of rank 3 as well. Good missile launchers though. Helicopters rank 3 is what I want to see. Drones could be better. Fighter planes are good though. And yeah, I figured the military, the naval was lacking. Our navy's pretty weak. No aircraft carriers. No submarines, but we got 7 satellites. And I'm sure we've got military bases. A good amount of them. Wow. Guys, a lot of these military bases can be disassembled. It's wasted money having so many bases in the center of our country. Could all be torn down with military bases positioned in the outer edge, where we're going to expand maybe a few bases poking around here. But Berlin's all the way over here, so just making sure we've got that defended is the most important thing. I'd like to put a couple bases around it, actually, get rid of some of these. Decent amount of air bases too, which is fine. Some of them could be removed. Should have a military air base outside Berlin, but we don't. So that's something to consider as well. Alright. How's the housing? A decent amount of dilapidated housing. We could touch up on that. Research. Investing a pretty good amount of money in research. Alright. Education. Alright. Literacy rates. Pretty low. Pretty good higher number of education students. I need to take another swig of water. God, I am dying of thirst right now for some reason. I do not know why. Okay. Freedom of teachers. Inspection and monitoring of school programs. Interesting. Sounds like something Germany would do. Congressional elections. I want to know the head of state situation. How long do I got? Well, I like those odds. Obviously, this all has to calculate. We got to get through the first couple days. And then the European Union, the bane of our existence. Annual payments. Yeah. Yeah, we're totally leaving the European Union. We can leave the euro, too. The Eurozone was created in 1999 by 11 of the 15 member states at the time. The monetary policy of the zone is conducted by the European Central Bank, which endeavors to keep the inflation rate of the member countries under 2%. By abandoning the single currency, a member country would recover its independence with regard to the ECB and could define its own rate. Ooh. Leaving an organization is an irreversible decision. A return to the organization cannot be guaranteed, and with great consequences, the country that leaves will no longer be bound by the obligations and agreements of the organization, and its relations with the other members will be somewhat altered. Okay. Not something we want to push just yet. How are we on transportation? Not bad. We're a pretty developed country. Lots of highways, railroads. We'll want to keep all of those in check. We've got some airports. So, main thing I'm going to want to push is nuclear power and such. All right. Carbon tax, let's save the world. How about no? Don't care. CO2 capture. I'm going to look at industry right now. Okay. She got a lot of importation coming in. Health, Social Security. Is our biggest. It sucks the state budget by almost 50% of the state budget. That's insane. I'll have to take a look at health in a second. That's just nuts. That's absolutely nuts. Yeah, we can't have that. Okay, so our biggest industries are the chemical industry, the building, housing, and roadway construction, automobile construction. Yep, that makes sense. The plastic industry, steel, tire, paper, utility vehicle, pharmaceuticals, electrical sodas, consumer electronics, computer, water supply. Okay. What are we like really hurting on? What aren't we making? Tanks and armored vehicles. Construction of electric utility vehicles, silver, satellites, diamond, drones, fighter planes, helicopters, iron and nickel. Iron's a big one. We really ought to try to turn that around. Zinc, robots, gold, lead, clothing, biotechnology. Okay, some of these we could probably get from countries around us, but we definitely are going to want to negotiate a little bit of trading for some of these top items. And I know countries that'll buy them. We'll want to try to keep... Boy, this is going to be tough. Keep relations with Italy. Or Japan. Why don't we set up a meeting with the Prime Minister of Japan? And meet with the Prime Minister of Italy. But we want to find some other allies. Maybe allies you wouldn't expect, like Turkey. So we'll meet with him as well. Start discussing maybe trading some of these items for higher than what we're actually getting. Some of the very first changes I'm going to do with the little bit of budget excess I've got, is start growing our military. I think people might actually like that. I probably should take a look though and see. So the DRL controls most, and they, believe it or not, have a political tendency of being right-leaning, which is laughable at best. The German Liberal Front, Patriotic Right Alliance, extreme right. The Progressive Front, the radical left. I'd like to engulf these two parties eventually. I'm committed to the fact that I think that these parties will eventually they will,
our team,
like my direction of the country. They will join me, hopefully. Or maybe these guys will. I don't know. I need to get somebody here so we can grow our influence, or we just change the system. We just dissolve the parliament or determine the powers. Vote laws and motions of no confidence against the head of government. Vote laws and motions of no confidence against the government, but not against the head of state. Vote laws, but no motions of no confidence. Consultative role and no real power, which is what we really want them to have. They would definitely not vote for that. Boy, these guys would, though. Oh, man, if we could actually convince our own party to vote for that, we could change that. The opinion of the people hate it, but damn, we could get it. It's not a bad idea. All right, so I'm going to go ahead and grow the army. And we're going to start with small numbers. I think we should go for 250,000 soldiers. That'll be spending about $3 billion there. And we should definitely go for 1,000 commandos or whatever the max amount is. Looks like 1,000's it. So let's go ahead and confirm that. See what the opinion is of people for that. Oh, we got a meeting request with the Prime Minister of... what is this? Iraq? It is Iraq. Alright, well, we'll see what they have to say. And why don't we start working towards the dilapidated housing? We'll just throw out 10,000 there. It's $1 billion. Confirm that. How's unemployment actually? %. It's pretty good. All right, got a nice little boost from that. The military's happy about it. Some people aren't as happy. They're going to sit in on it. It's fine. Appear on television, call for police intervention, call for military intervention. We'll just let them do their thing. All right. Ooh, National Youth Movement. Well, we should invest some money into that. It's worth 500 million. And does anybody here like us and can speak up for us right out the gate? Nobody really, but if there's any youth movements, they might. Humanitarian was pretty happy. He might speak out for us. Let's set up a meeting to meet with him. Oh, the Hunters actually like us. Probably because we're technically a right-leaning party, maybe? How's taxation look, by the way? What are we... Oh, I wanted to look at health. So why are we hemorrhaging so much money in health? What is going on here? Jesus. Life expectancy is 81. Small child mortality rate. So, reimbursed for visits to the doctor. Yeah, reimbursed for prescriptions, hospital treatments. We're just reimbursing a lot of money. It's legislation. Retirement age is 65. Minimum retirement pension. The minimum retirement pension is an amount that is paid to former wage earners who have retired from active life, and that enables them to have a minimum standard of living. That's dumb. We should get rid of that. Income tax exoneration for private retirement schemes. Partial. I could get a total. Oh, it's a lot of money. Okay. We have partial. We could get a budget economy if we actually do total for tax exemptions. No legalization of physician suicide. Marijuana consumption is tolerated. It's not decriminalized, though. I'm not going to go with that for consumption of alcohol. Setting the legal age for alcohol consumption is 16. Okay. So, let's do the old battling endocrine disruptors. Let's do the old fashioned. Let's see what it takes us to raise these. Usually it's pretty cheap in the grand scheme of things. And makes everybody really happy. And I know it's going to raise like how much our health is. Okay, now this is where it gets expensive, right? No? Wow, actually it's just cheap to raise all of this. Okay, that's where it starts getting expensive. All right, so 28 billion to max all that. Let's do it. That's really not bad. You'll see we get a huge health boost from that. And actually, the most important thing is a lot of these associations are going to like us. I'll probably actually speak to the AIDS Association. They'll probably speak good on my behalf once that budget kicks in. There it is. Perfect, perfect. Let's go check out the association, see how they feel about us. Very happy we'll set up a meeting with them, actually. Probably don't need our other meeting. Where the hell is our other meeting? Right here. Yeah, right. So we don't need to talk to you anymore. Much rather talk to the AIDS Association. They appreciate me. Ooh, okay, let's jump into the military screen real quick, guys, and begin the long, strenuous process of consolidating troops to the borders. Who are we going after first? We should take smaller countries like the Netherlands or Belgium. Not that it's going to make a difference, because everybody's going to get so upset after we do it. Maybe we should really go after Poland. Why don't we start putting troops on the border of Poland? Let's take everybody from these bases and start consolidating them. Actually, you could, let's see. Allocate's usually a little bit better than what I was doing. And I might build some more military bases over there. Obviously, we don't know how the rest of the world's going to act when we do this. So we just need to be prepared for that. Alright, and these bases can be disassembled, which is what I want. I can actually just dismantle a couple here, but see, I want to dismantle them like this. I find this to be a little bit easier to work with. Plus, it gives us jobs by dismantling these. Takes manpower to do that. Costs money too. Not that much. Saves money too, though. Having the bases, this is just way too many bases. I do this in all my playthroughs. I start to take apart some of these bases because it's just way too much. Perfect. So all those bases are going to get dismantled. Starting right in the center, working our way out. Okay, budget excess is still up there. That's good. We've got our meeting.
Sure.
With the
Dark
Prime Minister of Japan. Let's create a sales contract. And we would like to sell you building, housing, and roadway construction. We actually consume more than we produce, even though it's pretty massive for us. What about chemicals? Oh boy. So our biggest industries, we're consuming more than we're producing. Aeronautical construction, though, we can make this work. But I'd like to get at least 138, 85, 119. Damn. I got to get back on the ball about this again. It's been a while since I played the game. 124, 92 is not bad. 115, 95, 100 would be pretty good still. It'd be a little bit more than what their purchase price is. And a lot more than what their average sale price is. I'll accept that. All right, perfect. So that was a little bit better. What else? We're not going to go down the whole list. We're just going to pick a couple things. Beer. Come on, we don't produce... We're Germany. We don't produce more beer than we consume. Well, yeah, that actually sounds about right. Cement. Cereals. Clothing. No, I know that. Coal. Yeah, I figured. Colza. I don't even know what colza is. But we produce it. They want it. They don't want that much of it, though. They don't have a high purchase price. Electronic utility vehicles. Electrical. Computer hardware, copper, I know we don't have a lot of. God, we got to really grow a lot of these industries. Now, electrical materials, I know we're good on, and there's a pretty good market there. Only 100. I'd have to get a pretty good amount to justify. I don't think I'm going to. Nah, you know what? I'm going to refuse. What else would Japan want? We could take electrical materials someplace else. Food probably would be good, or wood. They have a huge consumption, but so don't we. Zinc, wine. Maybe we should buy wood. We're already buying wood. Maybe we should try to get a cheaper price from an ally. Maybe I should try to buy something from the Japanese, since they are going to be our allies. Sugar beets. Sugar's one. Steel, software, soda. I am going through this now because I'm potatoes, okay? Pork. Okay, potatoes. 764. My sale price is significantly higher. They probably won't go for what I need. Perfumes and cosmetics. Nah, not another one. Yeah, I just don't think this is going to work. I think the first thing I traded is also going to be the last thing I trade. Average purchase price, average sale price. Yeah, see, it's not good. Turkey, I think, is always pretty good to go with. Liquor, average sale price, average purchase price. Yeah, see. All right. How about purchase? What are we lacking? What do we need? Building, housing, and roadway construction. Very expensive. Very expensive. If we want to get that much of it. Chemical industry, we were also consuming more than we were producing. It's our largest industry, though. I'd rather just boost that industry. Clothing, I know, was pretty rough, but their production's also bad. What do they have a lot of that we don't have as much? Just anything, something we could save money on. Wow. Paper? Damn. There's really nothing here. They're definitely consuming more than they're producing, and that's a problem for them. Railway construction. Okay, let's see how cheap we can go. I don't really want to... You know what? Let's just end the meeting. Let's just end the meeting for now. We'll come back to that. I'm going to go check out industries. Now that I know some of these things. Our biggest industries our biggest industries are hurting. Chemicals, the chemical industries are largest, so we'll have to take a look at that. But what we'll do is we'll actually look at all of that in the next episode since we are out of time. But we've got a lot of things planned ahead, so you're going to want to stay tuned. If you've never been to my channel before, this is your first time here, go ahead and hit that subscribe button. Not only does it help the channel out, because it raises the subscriber count, but it also helps you guys out, because you're going to get notified when new videos drop. Don't forget to leave a like as well if you are excited about this series. Hit that like button. Seriously, guys, you have no idea how much that helps. Plus, lets me know you guys want to see more of this. I will definitely make an effort to deliver this as often as possible, if not every day. But let me know this is what you want to see. I know a lot of you are excited about it. With that being said, I want to thank you all for joining me. I hope that you've enjoyed it. I look forward to seeing you next time.